I meet with about 50 tech companies a month.
Wow.
So, you know, I just started getting inundated with stuff and watching YouTube. And one of the best quotes I heard from this guy, some startup multi-millionaire guy that seemed real successful, he did a little YouTube blurb on it. And he said, "You're not going to get beat by AI. You're going to get beat by another human using AI." And I thought, you know what? That's right.
It's so funny, it's like I've been using AI a lot for marketing and for doing a lot of research and things like that. And it's very helpful, but you can't just live on AI without having a person in the middle. I don't
No,
think,
no. It's
is
like any tool. It's like anything. You've got to know how to wield it. You got to know how to wield the power, right?
yeah, yeah. But we're finally starting to integrate chat and some other AI into some of our applications that we're building, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Yeah.
a client that has a business plan builder, and we've just made it so much easier for people to do the narrative part of their business plan by developing the right prompts for each section. And really it's a lot of fun. For me, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for doing this.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is we've been having the Tech Sales Network internationally now, I think, for several years. But the AI topic, we did one last month on. We're probably going to do it again because it was so popular. It was outbound sales, utilizing AI with outbound sales.
Wow, very interesting.
And yeah. Well, we're gonna do that one again, I think, pretty soon. But we've been actually meeting with software companies, a lot of SaaS companies that are using Chat GPT and AI in their
Mhm.
products. And so that's kind of where a lot of this has come, because I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I'm a real kind of rubber meets the road. It's like all the theory and all that, that's fun and everything, but just show me what I do with it right now
Right.
today. So that's kind of what these events are based on, is, how do you leave here and go do something, immediately.
Wonderful. I'm actually texting you saying let's definitely connect.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So I haven't seen this one. Oh yeah, super normal AI note taker.
No, I haven't either.
I've seen Read AI. We use Fireflies to check that one out. I know there's probably a dozen of them or so that are out there. Yeah, I mean, there's Otter. So I don't know. I hope we don't get as many note takers as we do people.
Right? I wonder.
Getting to that point now.
It's like don't join, just
Right. Here,
note
let me
take it
send
and
my
read the.
bot.
Yeah, my bot will
Problem is the
talk to your bot.
bot's not gonna ask the good questions though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, where are you located?
I am in Dayton, Ohio,
Oh,
which is
nice.
just north of Cincinnati, about
It's
45
not
minutes.
smoky up there anymore, is it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Still?
It is today, actually. Yeah, we get it's kind of off and on every couple weeks or so. We'll wake up and I'll think, man, it's awful foggy. Then I'll remember, oh,
Right. Oh yeah.
Canada's burning.
I'm down in South Florida. It's just hot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it rains every day, so
Yeah, I was there doing a Oracle integration, actually software build for Orange Lake Resorts in
oh
Orlando.
nice.
And yeah, it was I had a team in India actually that was supporting me, and so I went in and we built out a whole software module for their ERP. It's
Very cool.
kind of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
So I guess we can go ahead and get started. We may have a few people join here and there. What I like to do is just, thank everybody for coming, go around, everyone introduce themselves, tell us where in the world you're located and what you do, company, that type of thing. And I like this to kind of be pretty informal. I'm not really into webinar or death by webinar. So, I'd like this, as anyone feels free to chime in, ask questions. If you have some comments, that would help, go ahead and, take the floor for a few minutes and tell us something. Really appreciate that. We've had really good meetings on Tech Sales Network. A lot of folks rejoin, like Justin. Thanks for coming again, Justin. We had one guy, he was here last week. He is like the Chat GPT expert that I've ever met. He's got like 800 hours logged into Chat GPT activity.
Wow.
He was pretty amazing. I'm still in touch with him, but he's the expert that I met. But anyways, I'm Mark Wyatt. I'm the CEO and founder of Quantive Group, and also started this Tech Sales Network a few years ago. But I'm based here in Dayton, Ohio. I'm a serial entrepreneur, done all types of internet web software development in the past, built uh, Library of Congress, built the online publisher portal for all the publishers in the US on Oracle technology. But I go out and find this business and close it, and then I'm a developer and build it. And a few years ago, I started a consulting of simply helping tech companies with sales and marketing. And so I got a team of a dozen people internationally, and that's basically what we do, cradle to grave, is just helping in several very cost-effective, creative ways to drive new revenue for technology companies. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Olya, who's part of Quantive Group. She can introduce herself, tell us where she's from and what she does.
So, hey, my name is Olya. I am from Ukraine, based in Czech Republic, and I'm Chief Operational Officer at Quantive Group. So basically, I'm somewhere behind the stage, but know about everything, manage processes, operations, and communication within the team and also with our clients. And I will go ahead and turn it to Ben.
Yeah, hey there, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Ben. I am a sales director at a Series A startup called Diffbot. So we at a high level index the public web and build a knowledge graph or a database of companies and people, and we've turned it into a sales intelligence platform. And so excited to meet you all, and hopefully I'll be able to share a little bit more.
Great, thanks, Ben. And TC at Fast Track.
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet everybody. Tom Capato. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Fast Track. We have a suite of tools that automate back office operations for the life and disability marketplace. We have about 75 people. We manage about 200,000 claims for about 15 different carriers. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Mark Turkle.
Hi, I'm Mark Turkel. My company is Palm Beach Software Design. We've been around for about 36 years. I started out with brown hair and now it's turned white. But we're down here in Palm Beach. We've been writing custom software on Microsoft Stack and Lamp Stack forever, pretty much. And I'm really embracing AI. And I'm the author of the Software Development Playbook, which is a book I wrote for clients and prospective clients to understand the software development process and how to protect themselves and make sure they get the best ROI on their money. Kind of giving back thing, but that's what I wrote.
Great, thanks, Mark. And Nick Calagiris. Sorry.
That's right. Yep. All right. So yeah, Nick Calagiris, president of Mach 1 Solutions. We're just outside of Washington, D.C. We're a government contracting company as well as a solution provider providing smart surveillance solutions to military and government agencies.
Okay, great. And Justin Taubman.
Hey guys, so I work for a company called Future Tech, as you can probably see here, and we do blockchain solutions, but we also focus on AI solutions as well. Our partner company is doing the Dubai Smart Cities contract. They're the prime on that. So it's we take it pretty seriously, and we've been at it for quite a while now. But pleasure to meet you. I'm coming from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Justin. And Oliver Thies.
Hi, folks. My name is Oliver. I'm co-founder and chief revenue officer of Andonix. We're an industrial-focused Industry 4.0 software firm. We built an AI copilot based on ChatGPT 4.0 to deliver AI to frontline workers in factories and where there's frontline heavy work. Pleased to meet you, and thank you.
And where are you located, Oliver?
Oh, I'm right down a few miles from you. I'm in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. And Mitch.
Mitch Steves, I'm the president of Simply Paperless. We're a process improvement company that's focused largely to city and county governments. And interested in joining the discussion here to pick up a little free education.
All right, great. Thanks for joining, Mitch. And Josh Van Wyk.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Josh Van Wyk, and I'm the head of customer development at Strata Research here in southwestern Ontario, Canada. We're an end-to-end digital product agency, and interested to hear what's up today.
Thanks, Josh. And Warren G.
Hi, my name is Warren Gage, CTO and Chief Security and Compliance Officer at ScriptStrings. We have a knowledge platform that essentially deploys on pretty much everything, and partnerships in place with Siemens, Dell, ABB, Honeywell, half a dozen universities and different things. Our current focus is carbon and ESG, but that's on the commercial side. We also have a dual use military side that does knowledge things as well. Pleasure to meet.
Great. Thanks, Warren. And Frank Leonard.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Frank. I'm based in Zionsville, Indiana, and I invest in technology companies with a dual strategy, one for an exit and two to help them through business development activities. Two exciting companies I'm involved with right now is one's called Tactile Engineering, and they have created a Braille device tablet that's going to help the blind and the visually impaired read Braille much more rapidly through a device that's similar to your phone, where they'll be able to read Braille and get real meaningful jobs. Many states are supporting our company because we'll take people off the taxpayer roll and turn them into taxpayers. And then I've also invested in a company called Car Snoop, where we're trying to take the pain out of spending 3 hours at a dealership when you're trying to buy a car. Mark Cuban happens to be an investor in that company. So I raise capital, I help companies grow through business development activities, and I'm invested about 1.5 million of my personal money in 12 different companies. So thanks for being on the call.
Thanks, Frank. And Quentin Smits.
Hi. I'm Quentin Smits. I'm CTO of Wundermart, a company in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And we are building a software platform to run unmanned convenience stores. And we currently have about 180 stores open, mostly in hotels. And we are coming to the US next year. So
Cool. Very cool. Welcome. And Daryl Gunter.
Yeah, pleasure to be here outside of Philadelphia in a little town called Whitpain that was founded back in 1779, something like that. Gunter Media Group, I'm the managing director and founder. We work with companies on their commercialization strategies, as well as their product ideation and strategy. And we take companies from startups all the way up to one of our clients in the Philippines is $1 billion client. So I published a book on blockchain and AI a couple of years ago. It's an edited volume called Transforming Scholarly Research with Blockchain and AI. And I'm an advisor to a number of private equity firms as well.
Great. Welcome, Daryl. And Vishal Rajpal.
Hi everybody. This is Vishal Rajpal. I'm the Chief Product Officer at CloudEdge. Just a quick on CloudEdge, we are a modernization in the modernization platform business. We have two products, primary go-to-market products called Dart and OmniDeck. Dart is primarily a discovery tool for enterprises, and OmniDeck is an AI-powered automation platform which modernizes legacy applications. We've been in business for about 5 years. I'm based out of Miami. Currently trying to scale this company 100x after a successful exit with a prior organization where I built a $1 billion modernization business, which was delivered with services work. Now we're using AI-based execution to do the same.
Great, thank you. And Usman Tayeb.
Yeah, I'm the CEO of iDevNet. This is a software development company, basically. And we have an development office here in Pakistan. We work on two models. One is project basis, in which we take the project from the scratch and deliver the project, understand the requirement gathering and each process. The second way of working is build your own thing. So we help startups to scale their tech capacity, basically, and provide them with a tech team and top 1% talent what they require to make their project successful. We build teams very cost effective, and we support the startups in the early age where they need to have a great team in less budget. So that's where I do, and we have been working for like around 5 years, and we have worked with some great companies of USA in health industry as well. So that's a bit about myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last is James Wright.
Hi, yeah, this is James here. I'm with Palm Beach Software Design. Let's see if I get my camera working. Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Yeah, I'm with Palm Beach Software Design, and I actually work with Mark Turkel. He's my partner. I'm the CTO here, and we're primarily a custom software development house. Just like Usman, we will work with customers who have an idea for their application or solution, and we will sit down and figure it out from soup to nuts, the whole scope and requirements, build it out, support it, set up servers, whatever they need to do to help get them working. We've worked in the construction industry, medical industry, financial industry, marine industry, pretty much anything that you can conceive, we can create.
Except for video games.
Except for video games, yeah, we got to stay away from those.
Yeah. All right, great. Thanks. Really appreciate everyone joining, and hopefully this will be of some benefit. And again, feel free to chime in, ask any questions, raise your hand, or just whatever to get a few thoughts in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and Olya, you'll need to give me access to do that, and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so we had been doing some research into buyer intent and how to determine it. And the best way that I understand to describe it is, a lot of times in sales, it's being at the right place at the right time with the right person and the right message and being able to connect. So buyer intent is kind of this idea of preempting that. And the story I like to tell is if somebody shows up at your door and knocks on it, and you open it, and they say, "Hey, I'm here to talk to you about your roof, and can I inspect your roof, see if there's damage?" Well, the person there is either going to say, I don't know anything about that or need that, or they're going to say, "Oh, what a coincidence! We just had a terrible windstorm come through and hail, and yeah, I'd love for you to inspect my roof." Now, the homeowner doesn't know, but that person actually has an app that tracks where the highest winds in the region are and where hail was. So they know the neighborhood to go knock doors. The reason I know about this is because that's the company my son owns, is a roofing sales company, and that's exactly what they do. So they have this preemptive way of determining buyer intent so that when they engage, there's a high likelihood that there is going to convert into a customer. Now, the question is, how do we do that? Are there other ways of doing that with technology companies or any other types of industries. And how can AI actually help determine when the right time is? Because how many times, has anyone gotten with a prospect, they know there's a need, and the prospect says, yeah, we just engaged someone a couple of months ago. Or they'll say, yeah, give us 6 months and get back with us. If you've been in sales, it's like those are kind of the worst things to hear. It's wonderful when they say, oh my goodness, I can't believe that we connected. We were just talking about, having this problem solved. So that's what we're going to be going into, and how some creative ways of AI can help with that. So again, the buyer intent is the likelihood of the inclination of this prospect to make a purchase, the mindset of the customer, helping businesses anticipate their behavior and personalizing that experience so that they're more likely to engage. So a lot of times the messaging that's used is really critical so that it's not perceived as a spam type of message. We like to call it in Quantive Group, we actually use agile process. If anyone's in software, we actually have taken the agile process and applied it to sales and marketing and business development. So when we do messaging, we're doing iteratives, and we're really looking at a personalized experience, so that we prefer to call it not cold outreach, but personal outreach. And some of that is determining buyer intent, so that when you send those messages, it's not perceived as just some random outreach, but it's actually meaningful. So the traditional methods versus what AI can do now, surveys, sending out surveys, people take those, kind of determine from what they answered where they're at in the buying process. Maybe you're interviewing companies, talking to them, manual data analysis, looking at data yourself, trying to figure out things about that company and where they're at in their evolution and what their needs are. Very limited in sample size because it's very hands-on, very manual. Whereas with AI, now you get more machine learning. You can do intent analysis, natural language processing using the chat GPTs and those types of tools, processing diverse data from multiple sources. And so that's where we start to get into some of the AI methods that we'll be looking at. So machine learning is, basically looking for patterns in the data that contribute to determining buyer intent. And we'll get into some examples of that. And then, the large language model with chat GPT, we talked a lot about that last month, and how that actually works and how it's analyzing, human language in text form in order to extract meaningful information. So has anyone familiar with prompt engineering? So when you leave this meeting, anyone that has not heard of prompt engineering, please go to Google and Google prompt engineering. It is one of the most up and coming skill sets that's happening. And basically what it means is, with ChatGPT, how do you ask ChatGPT a question, or what input? It's not really a question. Sometimes, like some people that I know, they'll do a 200-word input into ChatGPT to get an output. So it's basically, what do you tell ChatGPT you want in order to get the output that you want? So that's prompt engineering. And it's a whole discipline. There's a lot around it. One of the tricks I'll tell you that we learned is ChatGPT can actually teach you what to ask it. You can actually say, ChatGPT, I want to understand how to ask you this question to get the right response. It'll actually help you learn how to do prompt engineering. So there's a lot of integration that's happening now with data, and there's APIs into ChatGPT that we'll be talking about, and how to really use it to get that buyer intent. So what are some things AI can look at? They can look at some of your website interaction data. They can look at social media activity that's happening. It can look at purchase history. Also, customer surveys can get fed into it to do an analysis, and you can ask questions about all of this data that's fed into it. So some of the factors analyzed by the AI is browsing behavior. What interactions are different users having on your site? So if anyone's used Google Analytics, you get all that, and it's kind of overwhelming. Basically using the large language model to help you analyze all that content, all that data, and give you more meaningful outputs with actual human questions, just as you would be asking maybe, if anyone's familiar with SEO, search engine optimization, those companies do all of that. A lot of that now can be relegated to a large language model by inputting some of that data and asking them those questions. Demographic information, you can start getting that type of information, search queries, engagement metrics, analyzing customer engagement with marketing campaigns. One of the things we're doing is we actually have APIs into LinkedIn, and we have an automated tool that does automated LinkedIn outreach. And so as we get the results of that outreach and the interactions of people on LinkedIn, all that data comes into a spreadsheet, and then we feed that into ChatGPT to ask it for patterns and ask it for positive companies that have responded positively. So it narrows down the number of companies that we want to reach out to, because we know who's responding positively to our social media interactions. And we'll probably be doing another, that was our topic last month, was utilizing AI in outbound sales. And we'll probably be doing that again for anyone that's interested, to talk more about LinkedIn and some of the tools and some of the data. So, and we actually have Ben from Diffbot that's going to be giving us a overview of that tool, and very, very cool buyer intent tool that is available right now and can be utilized. 6 Sense is another one. Crystal's another one. So these are basically SaaS software that's out there and available that can be utilized to start helping determine some buyer intent. And Diffbot, we've demoed it. We've demoed several of these, and Diffbot seems to be one of the best out there for aggregating a huge amount of data and actually helping you understand how to use AI and to look at your data. So if anyone's familiar with Sales Navigator, it's a very powerful tool on LinkedIn, but like any powerful tool, it's only as good as how you use it and how you know how to use it. And like I said, we've got automated software that enables some of the things happening with Sales Navigator. And it's one of the places that you can do a little bit of buyer intent by seeing who's following your company, and then feed this, into your large language model. Another way that, we as a company are using some processes, and again, some of this, don't always think of it as magic tools that just make things happen. We have found that a good business process around this is what really helps. And so one of the things that we do for our clients is we put the agile process around multiple tools and multiple things for data analytics in order to get the proper outcome. And we take a because my background, in software development, anyone that's done that, you get involved with process improvement, you get involved with data analytics and BI. So that's really a lot of what Quantive Group has brought to the whole business development, the whole business development skill set is really using good processes and data analytics. So, okay, so here's an example of buyer intent. We basically, Quantive Group, we're looking for technology. This is an example of what we do. We're looking for technology companies that need help with sales. So what do? We go to Indeed and we do a search on not just technology companies, but we're actually looking at contracting companies as well that need help with sales and marketing. So we just do a search on a type of company that is posting jobs for sales professionals. We scrape all those company websites. We go back and put those into LinkedIn. We build an email campaign and we run some of that through ChatGPT of the results in order to start to whittle down the buyer intent of these companies. So that's one way that we have a process around gaining some intel around buyer intent. We do that with Indeed and also Glassdoor to find companies that are looking for a certain skill set or a certain resource. So we know that they're actively looking. And this is just one way. I mean, you can also look at their posts. You can look at their social media to learn and then feed. Instead of going through it manually by yourself, you feed all this into a large language model. And Diffbot can actually help with some of this activity as well. And he'll get into that, how that they, bring in a huge amount of data and can help you use AI to analyze it. Any questions on any of this so far? I know I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute.
Are you going to be sharing any prompts with us to help us look at some of this, for example, email results? Or is that part of what you're offering?
You mean as far as ChatGPT prompts?
Yeah, I mean, it's let's say I have my data in my hand and I can give it to ChatGPT, but I don't know what to ask it.
The one thing I will tell you is it's an experiment. So the sooner you can get started at getting familiar with how to ask ChatGPT things, and it's a lot of trial and error, and that's what we went through. The one thing that I will tell you, it's good to try to think of an end game. What do you want to know? What is the result of it? So like the emails, that come in, what would you, if you could go through 1,000 emails and look at all the content, what are some patterns that you might want to see in those that will help you determine something? Now, I will tell you this, as far as one of the things we do that I will tell you to work with it is we record all of our Zoom meetings. I have like 50 a month with prospects. So Fireflies actually transcribes all the text in all those meetings. Fireflies actually does an analysis for you of some of the positive things happening in those meetings, but then you can actually take that meeting and it'll go out to ChatGPT with all that content, and you can ask it questions about those meetings to find out, which meetings have good buying signals or which meetings had positive response and that type of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that might be a future one. I really didn't have content available for ChatGPT prompting, but Olya, maybe that will be something we might want to actually do, is an event just on ChatGPT prompting.
Because I use Fireflies all the time, and I don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you just put in your entire conversation, or you just look at what Fireflies provides you? their AI.
Actually, yeah, Fireflies has a plugin called what's it called? Oh yeah, Meet Fred or Ask Fred. So Fireflies now has a plugin called Ask Fred. It actually costs a few dollars a month or something. Once you install that plugin and you go to it, that's where you ask questions. And when you ask questions in Fireflies of Ask Fred, it's actually doing an API call to ChatGPT. It's taking that whole conversation to ChatGPT, asking that question, and then bringing back a result for you. So I'll give you an example of the way that we use it. Okay. So we do, like anyone that does a business requirements document. Okay. So one of the things we're helping our clients with is, you know, they're going to do a business requirements documentation on a software deployment. And they may have a 2-hour meeting going over all the requirements, all the different things that you do in talking about the software and what it's going to do and problems it's going to solve, all that stuff. Now, once you're done with that 2-hour conversation, you can take the transcription of it, run it through Fireflies Ask Fred, and have it produce a multi-page business requirement document based on that conversation. So we're actually built we're actually building a prompt library, and this prompt library is all cataloged on prompts to ask ChatGPT what the results are, and we're cataloging all of it and versioning it so that we can start to learn and become better and better at building some of these requirements documents or proposals or, you know, whatever it is. And then we have a catalog of what the output is as well. So that's, you know, one of the things that we're seeing is, you know, the whole business analysis phase, the whole requirements phase. It's just been amazing using ChatGPT to do a lot of that heavy lifting.
Interesting. That's really interesting. That's something that we always do the old-fashioned way.
Well, and here's one thing I'll tell you is, especially starting out, don't ask ChatGPT anything that you don't already know the answer to.
Right.
I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but like, for instance, say you're going to do a business requirements document. It may take you, it usually takes us 6 different prompts to get the document built. You're going to ask it, you know, give me a synopsis of the current situation with this company and their technology and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to divide that BRD up into maybe 6 sections with a prompt for each section. Once it produces it, you go through and read it and you look at it and you may edit it. And if it doesn't produce exactly what you want, do another prompt to get even closer. And it's pretty amazing. It saves a tremendous amount of work because now, instead of you coming up with all that from scratch, you're basically just reviewing something that, you know, someone wrote for you.
Right. I found that it'll make stuff up if it doesn't know the right answer. You know, so
yeah, it will. I mean, it's not, you know,
but that's okay, as long, you know, because you do need to have a human look at it.
Oh yeah, and it takes a lot of practice. All right, great. And that's, you know, a lot of what I had on the buyer intent. And to go even deeper, I'm going to turn it over to Ben, and he's going to give you an overview of DiffBot and how it works and how it ties into buyer intent. So take it away, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. And hey, everyone. So just as a quick recap, you know, company is DiffBot. We're a Series A company out of Menlo Park. You know, at a high level, we're one of a few companies that can index the public web, right? Look at all the public sources and fuse facts together and build these entities, right? So the 2 entities I want to focus on today are organizations and people. What we've done is, traditionally, we've worked with more like engineering teams, data science teams, pulling the data in raw JSON, stuff like that. About 1.5 years ago, we actually released a new product called Lead Graph, right? Meant more for tech sales professionals, lead generation, account generation. And so I'm going to be sharing Lead Graph, right, which is a DiffBot product. And so let me go ahead and share my screen here. Awesome. And, we are a web URL based company, right? We have integrations with Salesforce and HubSpot. And when you log in, the core of the platform is, right, a massive company and contact database. We have 200 million plus companies, right, including all different industries, locations, local businesses, and we have over 600 million contacts, right, with emails and phone numbers as well. And so, right, we have some pretty unique filters that you can see on the left-hand side: keywords, tertiary industries, NAICS codes, technologies, and we can definitely spend some time on the specific filters. But in terms of buyer intent, we've layered in 2 technological implementations for buyer intent specifically. So first, I want to talk about buyer intent when it comes from an outbound perspective, right? So the first thing that we'll do anytime we onboard a new customer is we will integrate with their CRM. We will pull like the deals, the closed won deals over the last year, and we'll enrich data about each of them and build this profile report, right? So looking at DiffBot's environment, about 150 deals won over the last year. What's the median employee size, right, across these 150 companies? Median revenue, location breakdown, what industries are they in? So you'll see we get pretty granular, not just software companies, but specifically AI, SaaS, NLP, what keywords. This could be in the company's LinkedIn description, across their homepages, things like that. What technologies do they use, funding stages, and how old these companies are. Right, so it gives you a really great snapshot of, hey, based off the companies I've won, what are the unique characteristics that make them a good fit? Right. This starts to become actionable whenever I do a company search, right? So let me pop over here and let me just do something really, really high level. Show me all the software companies based in Florida. Awesome. Comes out with a very large list of companies, right? Both big and small. And you'll see on the right-hand side, this is where that ICP analysis comes into play. For every company that comes back, we're ranking them, right? Based off of how good of a fit they would be. Green is a great ICP fit. Right, you have a high-level overview, but then we tell you from a
and by the way, not to interrupt you, ICP stands for Ideal Client Profile. So sorry.
Yes. Yep. No. Thanks for clarifying.
For those that don't know, yeah.
Ideal client profile, right? And right, we're basically highlighting each data point and why we have identified this as a great customer profile fit, right? And yellow is a good fit, red is okay, and we'll always show the top green results first. This icon just means that it's already in a list. So one of our reps is already working on this account, right? And so that is, right, buyer intent from an outbound perspective, right? You obviously don't know what stages they're in, right? You don't know the in and outs of their company, but hey, based on these unique data points, like they're a great fit for our services and what we do, right? Let me take a quick pause here. Any questions, anything I can further elaborate on? And then I will touch on the inbound intent as well. Awesome. So if I were to like,
so sorry, I just had a quick question.
Yeah, of course, Justin.
So I'm working with a company right now with AI-driven intent leads, and I'm just wondering, is everyone referencing ChatGPT as their API, or are there other proprietary AI solutions that are for leads that help guide the solution?
Yeah, so right now we do have some things in the work with ChatGPT layered on top of our database. This does not touch ChatGPT at all, right? So what this is doing is it's pulling data from our own internal database that we've built, right? And in this ranking score, right, the green, the yellow, the red, it's actually like an internally developed scoring mechanism that we've built in-house. So, right, we're not integrated with ChatGPT quite yet. This is all our own internal models showing this data.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Awesome. So if I could just finish off that example, right? So what I would do, like if I was sales rep myself, again, go into here, into software, this is how I would finish that outbounding process. Okay, let me grab the top 100 accounts from here. I'll jump into contacts now, right? And at first, this will show me all the people across these 100 companies, but hey, I want to target engineering and IT and executives in engineering and IT. So VPs and directors, let's say. Awesome. So about 74 come back. And again, we provide emails and phone numbers as well. So I would, hey, add all of this into a list, find all their emails and phone numbers. At that point, I could download it via CSV, export it into my Salesforce or HubSpot, and then I'm up and running, right? Outbound email campaigns, put them in a phone dialer, a LinkedIn campaign, right? The nice thing is all these accounts that you're reaching out to are already pre-qualified, right? You know that, hey, they are in some sense, might not be the best timing, might not be the best state, but they could really use our product, right? They could really get some value from what we do. And so that is from the outbound intent side. Now on the inbound intent, we do web intent tracking, right? So if you go into lists, if you have it integrated, it would always be the top list here. It's a one-line web snippet on wherever your website is hosted, right? Wherever your website is hosted. And what this feature does is it will identify accounts that are hitting your site and what actions they're taking, right? We're not able to identify things on a personal level, right? It is against privacy or personal privacy regulations, but definitely from an account perspective. So for example, if I can, right, I'll go into the small startup or smallish company from the UK. And if I click onto here, I can say, okay, they visited our site 2 hours ago. They visited our homepage. And if I click into here, right, into this web visit section, I can see on a per click basis what they're interested in. They're looking at our similar to company function. And they took a look at our pricing page, which is a great signal. So from here, what I might do is I might jump into contacts, right? Again, let me find a couple of their vice presidents or directors, maybe send them a LinkedIn message, right? An email to try to bridge that interest into an actual opportunity, right? And another way that you can use this, last point just to make here, is from a marketing perspective or even a traction perspective, meaning like if I send a massive outbound campaign across 200 accounts, I definitely want this on my website because based off of that outbounding campaign, I want to see, hey, what companies are then looking at my site, right, directly after a marketing campaign or a email outbound campaign. So there's a couple ways that you can leverage this. So again, let me take a quick pause here. This is more of buyer intent from a inbound perspective. Let me take a pause here. Okay,
So,
and then
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a SharpSpring user, and I noticed in your list that they're one of your clients. Or one of your I saw them before. But anyway, I'm seeing a lot of the same information out of SharpSpring. Are they implementing your stuff?
Yeah. So I'm actually not quite familiar of how we work with SharpString, but what a lot of companies will use us for, right, is they will pull our data into their own internal database, right, which is, their company. So, right, like you can almost think about Diffbot/LeadGraph in two forms. One is we provide like very clean but raw data in JSON, where a lot of our companies will implement us into their database. Typically, we're working with like engineers, data scientists in those use cases. What I'm showing here is more of our end user platform, more for like AEs and sales teams to leverage. Yeah, yep. But to your point, we do have a good amount of companies that will pull our data in and supplement their existing database.
I guess my question is how do you know when American Express shows up at your website? Did you cookie them? Did they fill out a form? I mean, how do you know it's American Express?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do a combination right now of IP address as well as cookies too. So right now it's a two-tiered combination. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then one last thing I wanted to share is, as we all know, right, like outbound customization is key now. Like you can't just send a generic email to hundreds of folks. We also do news tracking. We call it our signals feed. So every time you save an account into a list, we're actually tracking any signals, right, that might help with an outbound message, general highlights, right? And then we split it up into categories as well. What accounts have won recent awards, right? New product announcements, partnership announcements, acquisitions, mergers, and takeovers, right? So trying to just give reps, give sales and marketing teams, in a sense, a lot of ammo, right, to target accounts and reach out to them thoughtfully and strategically. And so I'll stop sharing there. That is the main overview of the platform. As the next step, we do offer a 3-day trial. If you are interested, I'll drop my email as well as my scheduling link in the chat box here. Feel free to grab a time and we'll love to walk through individual cases moving forward.
Thank you so much, Ben. Really appreciate that. And by the way, anybody that wants to drop your contact info into the chat, and Olya is going to get that and send out an email with everyone who wants contact information. The idea of this is a network group. So, as you, find anyone else interesting, we glad for you to, get together outside of this meeting. But yeah, thank you so much, Ben. And we Quantum Group has actually looking at Ben's services to integrate with what we do. We don't develop any software. We basically work with companies like Ben in our agile process to do a lot more surgical in our targeting, so that it's much more efficient. One of the problems I will tell you that you have to be real careful about now these days is if you do outbound or messaging, you don't want to burn through a lot of contacts with a bad message. And the way that we've found to prevent that is, instead of reaching out to thousands, reach out to hundreds or 100 at a time with a message and do analytics on the result of that, so that you can improve that over time. And then as you continue to do your outreach, it's going to become better and better. That's one of the problems. If anyone's done lead gen, I've met with over 700 tech companies in the past 4 years. And many of them, at least half, talk about lead gen companies that they've had wasted money with. And none of them have told me of one that worked out well. So be real careful about lead gen companies and what they promise and what they do. The reason I'm telling you that is, if you engage them and they burn through thousands of people with a message from your company, you can't go back and undo that. You can't unring that bell. Maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, but once you've reached out to them with a poor message, you're going to kind of be like, oh, not this guy again. What's he want? So that's one of the things I will tell you, to be real careful about using those companies. It's not an easy button that you hit and money comes in the door.
Couldn't say that loudly enough.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we help with. Is we don't call it lead generation, we call it meeting generation. So there's a little bit different strategy behind that. I'm going to stay on for a while after we conclude here. So anyone that wants to hang out and talk a little bit more, have any more questions for me or Ben, feel free to do that. But thank you everyone for joining. Again, we meet every third Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully you've got our information. We do have a LinkedIn page for Tech Sales Network. Feel free to go there and request to join that group. And that's basically, thanks again for joining.
Thanks a bunch. Mark, I'd love to connect with you early next week if possible. I gotta hop off, but
Sure.
I'd definitely love to meet with you, and it was great. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And
yeah,
Ben,
you bet.
thanks a bunch.
Yeah, no, it was my pleasure. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. That was perfect. That was great.
Awesome. Awesome. No, it was great. It was great. I yeah, really enjoyed presenting.
Yeah. Do you present very often to groups or?
Yeah, we do. We do try to, since it is a new platform in a, in a big market, we try to get ourselves out there, go to conferences, tech groups, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, and by the way, Mark, one of the things that we do is we offer a 1-hour complimentary business strategy session.
Mhm.
And the purpose for that is basically to talk to you about, anything and everything you've been doing for lead generation, closing new business, getting new clients, just find out your current situation, just like any good discovery. But then we also, after we learn that about what you've been doing, we go over the agile business development process and all the
Great.
tools we're using. And the third section of the meeting is the expected result of executing on agile and business development. And we
Great.
actually produce a document that it's your document. You can execute on it internally. You can hire our team. We do a 90-day pilot with it, but that's one thing that a lot of our tech companies have found really helpful, is just kind of going through that exercise to understand. Because in the 4 years, we've learned a lot about outbound and
Great.
kind of the good, the bad, the ugly. Our tech company clients we've learned a lot from them as well.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to meeting with you guys for sure. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm doing a webinar on Thursday, tomorrow, about
okay.
about my software development playbook. If I can post a link if anybody's
Yeah,
interested.
please do. No, it's very appropriate. Yeah, please
Thank you.
go ahead, post it. Yeah.
Everybody's welcome. It's free. It's going to be an hour lunch and learn like this. Starts at 12 p.m.
Cool.
And I'm gonna talk about software development and give people a little bit of a look from the inside out.
Nice.
So they can learn how to speak with their developers more clearly and better, and make sure they stay on target and on budget.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's very much needed.
Hey, Mark, quick question for you. What was the name of the group on LinkedIn to follow you guys?
Tech Sales Network.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna follow you right now.
I gotta find that too. Let me write that down.
Yeah, here I'm gonna post a link to it.
All right, hey guys, gotta jump off now, but it was great. It was a great session.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll definitely connect. Yeah, so Mark, let's connect, and if you want, just go ahead and send me a meeting invite for Monday or Tuesday. I'm pretty clear.
Okay, cool.
And
Will do.
And James will probably join us as well, my esteemed partner. And we'll talk soon. I gotta hop out, but again, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. Nice meeting you guys.
All right.
Hey,
have a good one, everybody.
Quick question for you while you're still on the line. Where are you based again?
I'm in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay. Do you come to Indianapolis much?
Every so often. Yeah. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Indianapolis. Are you familiar with Queen City Angels out of Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah. I've been down there so many times, met with those guys, presented, talked to the VC, and yep, I know them real well.
Have you got any money out of them?
No.
Interestingly enough, they invested in the Braille tablet I mentioned when I made my introduction. You should
did they really?
You should check them out. Tactile Engineering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Very cool.
I got a little one up on them because I got in on the friends and family valuation with that company. It's a Purdue organization, and I went to a Purdue networking event. I walked in and I met the CEO. I was real impressed. His first wife was blind. So if you type tactile-engineering.com, you'll find their site. And it's just amazing what he's doing, because it's going to help the blind and the visually impaired really take a quantum leap forward with their ability to do real meaningful jobs.
Yeah.
But the great story about my investment is I met the guy and I thought, man, I think I'll throw 50 grand into this. And instead I put 100 grand. He let me in at a $2.3 million valuation. 5 months later, Queen City got in for 500 grand at an $8 million valuation.
Oh man.
I'm like, I got one up on QCA.com.
Yeah, way to go.
Don't tell them that story. That's
Yeah,
just,
no.
but
No,
they're
been
growing like crazy. Every state is giving them money, which I'm not getting diluted, because they want the devices. Because if we can take blind people off disability checks and turn them into taxpayers, it's a huge swing for every state.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool.
Indiana's given us 2 million this year, 2 million next. Ohio's given us 3.5. So it's just a great success story. So follow them on LinkedIn and maybe you can post some of their stories. Their founder, David Schleppenbach, is a real humble guy, and I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So
okay, cool. Yeah, will do. No, I appreciate that that tip.
maybe you could mentor me. I get approached by a lot of companies saying, you know, do you want to offshore some software development? Do you want to do this or do that? I really don't get in the trenches on software development. I'm just an investor and a business development guy, but occasionally I could bring in companies to help us with some software development, but it's not a burning need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I saw you said you wanted the 1 hour strategy session.
Yeah, I'd like to just, you know, it's like I reached out to somebody on LinkedIn one time and I said, I see you've got a connection with venture capital firms. I said, maybe you can help me make some sense of my 11 disparate companies I'm invested in. See if we can create some synergy between them all, everything from blockchain to encryption to edge computing. And you know, I may want to learn about your AI LinkedIn tool with ChatGPT to do a better job of outreach, because I've kind of got two models to my company. One is invest for an exit, and the other is to get annual recurring revenue. So I typically become a reseller for all these companies.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can definitely help you with that, because my background for 20 years is solution selling of technology. I mean, that's what I've done. And it's all been through guerrilla marketing and outreach. And so that's what I've built the Quantum Group around, is the way to automate you know, outreach, and the way to do it much more efficiently than just one person. So that's why I have a team that does it. Yeah, definitely. I'll send you an email, and it's going to have a link to my calendar. And if you just want to put a 1 hour meeting on there, and we'll basically go through the whole process with you and show you how you actually could use this service perhaps across several of your tech companies for you know, outbound sales and getting more meetings on your calendar.
Yeah, because essentially all I do is find people with problems that my tech solutions can solve. And all I got to do is set up a call with the engineer for those firms I've invested in. I try to get interns to help me, but by the time I get them trained and they know where the bathroom is, they're like, I got to go back to school.
Yeah, and I've done that too. That's why I developed this, and I have a trained team already, an international team that actually does a lot of that work, and it's all fractional. So it's just fractional folks, very cost effective. It's the price of interns almost. So it's a really solid team to do a lot of that activity.
Yeah, I reached out to Olya. I'm glad she's going to send out a list of all the attendees, because I think that's the beauty of these meetings. It's like who you meet.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
definitely.
I don't necessarily need a life coach, but I like having meet people that are trying to do similar things to me. So
yep, definitely. No, I appreciate you joining.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I got the email reminder too. I think I was gonna miss it, but they're like, hey, looking forward to you joining us in an hour. I'm like, I don't even remember signing up, but I'm gonna hop on.
Cool. Yeah,
all right,
good deal.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, you bet. Take care.
Keep helping others.